Hello, my amazing artists. Welcome back to Art with Mrs. Knowles. We are going to be using Vincent van Gogh as our inspiration today and creating a starry night picture. Isn't that beautiful? So you might know that Vincent van Gogh is most famous probably for his Starry Night painting. And in the original painting, he uses motion and lines to create kind of this swirling, beautiful sky. So we're gonna try and recreate that a little bit with our art today. I'm gonna show you the supplies that you need. It should be stuff that you already have. And then we can get started on our Vincent van Gogh Starry Night picture. Okay, here is my design a little bit closer. Did you hear my dog just a minute ago barking? He's been kind of barky lately. Okay, so you can see that we are going to make a city in the foreground. Foreground is what is in the front of your picture, what's closest to you. And then we're going to do a background. The background is the thing that's the farthest from you, right, of the sky. So the foreground is usually the things with the most details, but it's going to be in shadow for this picture. All right, so the papers that you're going to need are one wide piece of paper, so you've turned it so that it's horizontal, and then I have another piece of paper here that I cut. It's about half the size of that one. Okay, so if you at least have two papers that are exactly the same size, guess what? That's perfect. All right, let's get started. So your first step is you are going to need some crayons, and you want to choose a light color. So I chose yellow and a light green. A couple of colors, white will work. So that just choose a couple of colors of crayons. If you don't have any crayons, oil pastels also work well for this. Okay, so your first thing you want to do is the Starry Night, the original one. It has a moon, so we're going to draw a big moon. You could do a full moon, however you want to do the moon, and then you're going to carefully color in your moon. Now, as I am using my crayons, I am making sure that I press down with them. And the reason why, you'll see the reason why, because we're going to be painting with water. So if you just do it really lightly, you won't really be able to see it. Okay, after you've got your moon, you're gonna try and make at least 8 to 10 stars on your paper, and you're just gonna go around filling in. Now I am just doing a circle for my star. If you want to do a different shape, that's fine, but all over your paper. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's see. Now I'm going to use my other color, my other light color. And I'm gonna add some dashed lines going around each of these objects. So I did a dashed line around my moon. Gonna do a dashed line around each star. Okay, once you have one set of lines, oh, I missed one. Sorry, star. You're gonna do a second line going around all of them. Same thing, dashed lines. All right, so I've got my second row going around. So now I'm gonna take a pencil and I'm going to draw 2 large curves. It's like kind of like waves. So I'm gonna start at the edge of my paper and just come in, find a spot where you can do a spiral like that. Okay, this would be another good spot. I could do one. Now, I am just gonna do 2. If you wanna do more, go for it. You can do more. Okay, I used pencil because you won't really be able to see it once we're done. So now you're gonna need some water-soluble markers. Water-soluble, sometimes also say washable. So I have light blue, blue, and purple. We're going to use the cool colors for this part of the project. So what are the cool colors? Blue, purple, green, because they make you think of cool things, right? So decide what colors you want to use from the cool colors. Get those ready. You're going to need at least 3. Okay, so if you only have one color of blue and one color of purple, get a green in there and use green. So you need 3 colors. Okay, so what we're going to do once you have your 3 colors is we're going to first add a dashed line to the spiral. Now once you have your spirals done, going around that pencil line, you're gonna start to add to it. I'm gonna use my blue again and do another row. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna grow each thing and it's gonna get bigger and bigger by doing the little dashes around them. And you're also gonna do this for your stars and for your moon. So I'm gonna use the dark blue now. So I'm gonna go around this star. And maybe I'll do a star over here. Star down here. And I'm gonna keep growing each of my stars until they run into each other. All the things run into each other and I run out of room and there's no space left. Okay. Okay, so do you notice that I'm starting to have my things run into each other? Well, that's actually what I want to happen. So just watch for a minute. What happens when my things run into each other is that I'm just going to try and fill in the space as much as I can and then just keep going. So like right here, this star is touching that wind thingy. But I'm just gonna keep going and just do it around. So I want you to watch as I do that for all of these. And also keep in mind that you should be switching colors. So don't just do one color for the whole star area. So switch colors up. So we filled up our Starry Night paper, and now comes the magical part where we are going to use some water and a paintbrush, and we are going to add water to the whole thing, and it's going to create a watercolor effect. So let's do that right now. Alright, so I finished with my water, and you can tell the colors sort of start to blend into each other, which is what we want, but you can still see all those little lines that you worked so hard to make. So we're going to set this aside. Oh, one other thing. If your markers aren't working, you added the water and they're not running, that's okay. Guess what? It still looks pretty awesome, right? Okay, so we're going to let this dry a little bit. We're going to set it off to the side. And I am going to get my piece of paper that I cut to make my city. So let's do that right now. All right, so we're gonna work on the city part of this. So what you need for this is a piece of paper that will fit all the way across your Starry Night picture. Okay, so I have one already made. So make sure that your paper will fit going all the way across. And it actually doesn't really matter what color you use. You could use white like I did. I am going to color this because I don't have any black paper at home. So you could use a different color, any color, it doesn't matter. So what you want to do with your pencil is we're going to make a line going from left to right all the way across. So the line has to touch both sides. And just think about buildings as you're going. Doesn't have to be crazy. Could even be Dallas. You know how the Dallas has the globe. Any kind of buildings. All the way to the other side, okay? So now, since I'm gonna color mine, I'm gonna do that right now. If you're gonna color yours, do it right now. If you used a colored piece of paper and you don't need to do that, that's great. Right, so did you notice that I colored this in with no details on it? The details are the small parts of your picture, like the windows, the doors, all the parts that would be on a building. The reason why I did that is because we're making something called a silhouette. And a silhouette is just the outline of the shape and you can't see any details inside. Like if you think about a shadow is the outline of the shape, but you can't see any details. So when you are done, this will be the silhouette of a city. No details, just the shadow. And because we want people's focus to be on your beautiful sky that you created, right? So that's why the city is just a silhouette. Okay, so let's cut this out. So our last step is we are just going to glue our skyline of the city, the silhouette, at the very bottom of your paper. So we need some glue, right? I'm going to use Elmer's glue. You can also use a glue stick. And I'm just going to go around the edges. I'm careful when I go around the edges to keep about a finger width in from the edge so that my glue doesn't get super sticky and stick out the side. Okay, all the way around. Now I gotta lift this really carefully, huh? And I want it right at the bottom so that you can't see the sky. And then press it down. Beautiful. Now do you see why we did the whole paper with the sky? Because until you glue your silhouette on, you're not really sure where it's gonna be. So that's why we did the first step of the sky, the whole thing, and then we did the silhouette last so that you could still see the sky. All right, I hope you enjoyed this Starry Night silhouette picture. Remember the artist who inspired it, his name is Vincent van Gogh. All right, I will see you guys later. I hope you have a good day and make good choices. Bye-bye.